This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, Lowco sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Lowco Sports Lowdown. Thursday night edition presented by our MVP sponsors, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports, Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Lowco Sports, Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsors, and the official real estate closing attorneys of Lowco Sports, and Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, the official hospice care of Lowco Sports. Those are our MVP sponsors. We'll talk about them a little bit more later. I'm Justin Jarrett. He is Wes Kerr. We've got a great show lined up tonight. We got some results from tonight, as well as looking back over the last couple of days, some headlines that we'll get through. We'll talk a little bit about the Border Bowl, which didn't go in our favor, but we got some highlights from our friends over at WSAV. We'll talk high school league appeals. Bridges won theirs. We're also going to talk with Alex Hagan, their wrestling coach, a little bit later. They won a couple more tonight, having a great season over there. And they honored a young man who passed away last year, who was a former teammate. So great night over there at Bridges Prep. Talk a little USCB men's hoops. And then we'll name our athletes and teams of the week later on, since we missed our Monday show. We took a night off on the King holiday and caught up on sleep. For me, I was exhausted. How you holding up over there, man? It's been a busy time of year for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a grind type of year, or time of the year. As we really get into the full swing of winter sports. It's a lot going on in a short time span. So it's been a busy last couple of nights in the gyms and on the mats as we progress through. Certainly the weather has not cooperated at times. It's gotten cold these last few days over here in the Locos. Hope everyone's staying safe, and you just hope that everyone, especially those areas I'm thinking of, Bamberg, or there are a couple areas in South Carolina that were affected by that storm. So we just hope everyone's staying safe and doing well in these last few weeks, which has been a challenge for many. So just thinking of those communities and those people, and hope for better times moving forward for them. But the local sports continue to roll on. Got a lot of basketball this past week, and a lot of key local and local games as region play starts to heat up. I was over at JP2 and see Hilton at Prep get the better of the Golden Warriors. The boys did, but the girls, the JP2 girls, were looking really good, and they got the job done again tonight against Thomas Hayward. I'm really very impressed with what Karen Floyd has put together with this team.
Yeah, they're very strong. Yeah, that Thomas Hayward is obviously young, right. but scrapping. They've won a couple games this year though, which has been good to see. But JP2 girls are
taking care of business.
I was a little concerned about them coming out of the holiday break because they had such a long layoff. But man, you can tell that they were getting after it and working on stuff, because they've been really sharp coming out of the break, and that's a good sign for them. I think this team's, we've said it a lot, but they're built a little different than they have been in the past. They got a little more depth and a little more confidence about them, that I think they're going to be a problem. JP2 boys won tonight as well over Thomas Hayward by 13. Got there at halftime. They were down 3. But they were able to break away. Third quarter was all Christian Tilton. He kind of took over, got a bunch of transition buckets, and then Daniel Godson just took over in the fourth quarter and could not miss. He was on fire. I'll show you some highlights a little bit later, but it was good times. So yeah, I guess let's get into the Lowco scoreboard then, presented by the MVP sponsors, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports, and my wife. She's with Keller Williams of the Lowcountry and the new Anchor Home Group, and she would love to help you find your place in the Lowco and put down an anchor in the best place. That's Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. And then we've got the Homegrown Home Inspections, official home inspectors of Lowco Sports. And my friend Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the business. They'll make sure you're making a great investment in the Lowco real estate market. Then the Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsors since 2017, Ryan and Tiffany and the Mickelson team doing the most for the community, and they will do the most for you as your legal representation Education, Mickelson Law Firm, and Hospice Care of the Lowcountry. I love those people. Love James Dismond and the culture he has built there. They're providing hospice care, palliative care, free grief counseling. They're adding mental health services, just all kinds of growth happening, and it's all good over at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry. Those are MVP sponsors. So taking a look at the scoreboard, Wes, I mentioned JP2 girls win 53-6. Brady Mahoney with 15 and 12. JP2 boys win at 55-42. I'll look at the scorebook here in a minute and tell you who had all the points, but Christian Tilton big in the third quarter, Daniel Godson in the fourth. Patrick Henry 86-25 over the complete student on the boys side. Rowan Croft with 19. Haven't seen a Carleton Prep score yet. May River blanked Carleton Prep on the wrestling mats 84-0. That's 14 times 6 if you're scoring at home doing math. They got 6 at every weight class. And Bridges with a couple of dubs. I had them up here, the scores just a second ago. 54-27 over Whale Branch and 54-21 over a combined Savannah Christian Prep and Colleton Prep team, which
very nice.
Combining people up over there. I got home quick. I did get home quick. Yeah, I had time to prep the show, even put out the highlights. So let's check out those highlights from JP2 Thomas Hayward boys, where I was tonight. I think that it says Facebook user, but I'm guessing it's Jennings. Richard. Probably Richard.
Yeah, nice bounce back for JP2 tonight after, fighting hard against Hilton Head Prep, but just unable to find the key shots and turned over a little bit too much. But, a strong showing here against Thomas Hayward. Nice little steal and a quick pass up in transition for the bucket. It was a big night for CT1. No, it's not CT4 anymore. It's CT1.
That's right, kids. Get it right. He's CT1 in basketball. We're trying to get Hagen in here. He thinks he's in, but he's not. It's fun to produce and host at the same time. But THA stayed in it. I mean, they scrapped back. They got down by double digits early in the third, and then they got back early in the fourth, I guess. They got back within 41-37 right there, and they just could not keep JP2 off the offensive glass. They got so many extra possessions and then cashed them in. Kiefer hit a couple big threes, and then Godson, he got fouled on that one, had a 4-point play. They did a lot right in the second half, and especially on the offensive glass, and just then moving the ball around and getting good looks. Godson again in transition, he was electric, and they did he's a freshman chance again. Here we go. Godson again, he was lethal. Let me see what he had. Tilton had 10 all in the third. I told you he went nuts in the third.
What now?
Godson had 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Godson had 11 all in the fourth. So they really got going. It was Atkinson in the first half. He had 10 in the first half. He ended up with 15. But then they got out in transition a little more in the second half. I didn't see the first half. So, but it looks like they were feeding the post in the first half.
And if you get those quick steals, you can get some separation there with Christian Tilton. You can flag the hoop. They got some athletes on that team, and if they keep
he did a little cherry picking in that,
and maybe force some turnovers on the other end.
Yeah, they're not bad, man. They
My internet is a little wonky tonight. I'm talking over yours.
The Gremlins. No, you're good. No, they've got some nice pieces. They've got good guard play. They got several guys who can stroke it from outside. Dante Aiken can shoot the three as well. Atkinson's nice inside, and then they've got some scrappy role player guys. So they're not bad. They're much better than they've been the last couple of years.
I mean, they fought
pretty fun to watch.
Hilton Prep. I mean, that was no blowout, and they stayed in that game as well. I mean, they were able to knock down some threes and have some of those key role players step up, and especially that freshman Godson was really, really impressive from what I saw back on Tuesday. But just not enough pieces, especially when you have that matchup problem with Britchie. That's just something you don't see very often in Skiza. When you have that kind of height and size over in the post, it's really hard to defend and really hard to stop. So just give credit to Tilton Prep for executing what they do well. But this JP, a solid group, really well conditioned, well, put together, and that's a team that if they can really find their groove and get hot at the right time, they could be dangerous in the playoffs.
They held Tony. He fouled out of the game, and they held him to 6. That's impressive. That's impressive work defensively.
Not bad. Not bad. Good defense.
Yeah, you're in, Hagen. I got you, bro. We see you now. But solid outing in the second half there from JP2. Good adjustments. They were able to make adjustments and take advantage. Some other headlines. The Coastal Empire took the Border Bowl, sadly. I do have some highlights from our friends at WSAV. Zion, I reached out to Zion. We were going to try to get him on tonight, but he is actually en route to a official visit in North Carolina. I haven't heard back yet where he's headed, but headed for an official, which is very good. Love to hear that.
The offers are starting to come now for Mr. Dobson. That's
they definitely are. I saw Savannah State. Who else did you see? But he's starting to get quite a few, and there'll be more. And there he is. Got the highlights. There are not many highlights for our squad, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Mostly highlights for the Coastal Empire.
That Lowco squad, it looked pretty solid, but it's an all-star game, and you really get the best from what has been a very stacked Coastal Empire group these last few years. So, tough way to see the senior class go out. Nice pass. The trick play.
I know. That was nice. That was nice. I mean, it was like all one motion too. He caught it and threw it. That was
20-0.
It was a
favor
crazy
of the
good
Coastal Empire. Lowco's starting to get
Zion.
rolling. Is that man right there?
Z-Man.
Number 3, Zion Dobson into the end zone for Lowco's only touchdown of the ball game, and they got one time in the shot.
One time made the highlight reel. It made me so happy. I'm pretty sure you're saying, yeah, maybe one time. But mostly highlights for the Coastal Empire. Sadly for our boys.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I saw a lot of outpouring on social media just about the opportunity and the experience of just getting the strap on one more time. And
for a good cause for the Ron McDonald House and to, help children who are in need of care. And that's really what it boils down to. And these kids get to put on the pads one more time. And it's about having fun and playing with your guys and playing with your Lowco friends one last time. So that was certainly something that they accomplished out there in the field on Saturday. And now, for Zion Dobson, it's now, you turn the page and you're getting ready for the college level. So, best things are yet to be played out for Dobson. So many amazing, seasons in store to come for that guy who is going to work tirelessly once he gets to the next level, whatever school will be lucky enough to get him at the college level.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at his newest offers. Livingstone. I don't think
Livingstone. That's a.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a minute, Hagen. Take care of it, Hulk. We'll stall for you. He's got to deliver some milk to the baby. It's all good. Savannah State came through. Catawba, which, by the way, congratulations to Brandon Bryant from Bluffton for his commitment to Catawba. Saw that come through the other day. Let's see any others for Kayvon got one from South Carolina State. I saw that. That was overdue. Zamon Lofty's got one from St. Andrews.
Oh, that's very, very deserved.
I love seeing
the unsung heroes.
A lot of coaches have been going through there.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have been going through there, and I think that's good because I think if they get there and they see what they're doing over there and they get to know the coaching staff and the kids and not just see them as a place on the map or whatever, I think it'll change the dynamic and the perspective on that program. And then as soon as a couple guys get out there doing their thing, look out. So good stuff happening there with the Border Bowl. Again, it's just another chance for guys to go out there and show what they can do. Mentioned the High School League appeals. We did talk at some length, earlier last month or whenever, about the multiplier rule, the 3x multiplier rule. And there certainly were, concerns and valid ones about the application of that and how that was going to play out. Because when you looked at the realignment proposal and what it looked like, there were some that stood out like sore thumbs, like, whoa, I don't know if they're going to be able to compete there. I thought, just in watching, kind of the commentary through Twitter and stuff, because I didn't have time to really watch the entire hearings, but it seemed in synopsis that was handled exceptionally, like really fairly. I thought that all the decisions were pretty rational on the face of it. I thought that the appeals that had merit were largely granted, and the ones that weren't granted, if you looked at the arguments, they didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, James Island was arguing that it was a better geographical fit with the Beaufort County schools than the Charleston schools, and you're like, I don't think I believe that's a good faith argument. There were a couple that were a little puzzling, but Bridges did what won their appeal unanimously to go to 2A rather than 3A. I know that a couple others of the smaller, more startup type charters were granted appeals to stay at 1A or 2A rather than jumping up, and I think that was all handled pretty appropriately. I mean, I think everybody feels a little bit better about it now going forward. But we will talk about that in our next segment after we announce our varsity sponsors, the DDS Web Design. They build, host, and maintain websites for small businesses and nonprofits that get results. So call on them at ddshhi.com if you want to get your website found so you can do more. Parker Law Group, serving legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties for years, and now on board with us to help us continue to shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes across the Lowco. And the Reverence Wrestling Club, the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. And we're going to have a little Lowco Grind segment now with Hulk Hagan from Bridges Prep joining us. Friend of the show, Hulk Hagan. What's up, man?
Chilling, trying to stay awake.
He's Alex Hagan, but we call him Hulk over here because Wes, you accidentally called him Hogan the first time we had him on. So then he revealed to me.
I took it as a compliment.
Yeah, he revealed to me that he actually went by Hulk Hagan back in high school. So then we had to make it a thing, So, but anyway, Alex, congratulations tonight on a couple of wins over Whale Branch and Savannah Christian, and more importantly, it sounds like you had a pretty cool night tonight, honoring Josh Shipley. It was your senior night, and Josh passed away last year, so I'm sure that was pretty emotional over there.
Yeah, it definitely was. I was trying to keep my composure when I was reading my speech tonight. A very emotional night. His whole family was there. It was a great way to honor him. The family actually gave out a scholarship to one of our seniors for $2,500.
That is outstanding.
Yeah, and we're actually trying to get a trust fund for the scholarship, maybe do like a duels tournament every year in his name to keep that scholarship going. But I'll tell you one thing, Whale Branch has gotten a lot better. I think our final score with them, we did have 2 forfeits, but it was 54-27, but they've gotten a lot better since the last time we competed against them.
I know Coach White and Coach Simmons are out there beating the hallways trying to find
all them girls
they can find.
Coach Hagan, thanks for coming on. For those who are unaware, just reflect on Josh's impact on that Bridges program and wrestling here in the area.
Right. I got you. So Josh originally wrestled 138, and every time we had a meet, he'd have to drop like 3 or 4 pounds. And I remember one time, like we had a couple guys at 138, I think, and he had to drop to 132, and he was one of those guys that would take it for the team and cut like 8 pounds if he had to. He was one of the kind of guys, if you drive it on the bus, he would sit at the front so he could talk to me because we had a lot of things in common. Like we both played music. We both liked the same type of music. So I kind of saw him like a little brother. So it was really tragic to me when I found out that he passed away. He actually had a very rare form of cancer. It's called it's a cancer of your thymus. And so the way it goes for that type of cancer, you can go like months and months and not to like the final stage to you start getting symptoms and stuff. And he was actually studying abroad in Costa Rica at the time. And everybody just thought, hey, he's having trouble breathing. It's probably the high altitude, but it was actually the cancer eating away at him because toward the end of like the season, he dropped to like 128. And I'm like, how are you dropping all this weight? I mean, you got kids in high school, they'll drop like 4 pounds overnight, this is because they got them fast metabolisms and stuff. But yeah, it was a special night. We definitely went out there and we got the dubs for Josh. I told the guys this was a really special night for me, his family, and the Bridges community. But it was we had a lot of people come out. I think George Dixon popped in to watch the ceremonies and stuff. So it was a great night.
Good. If George Dixon's there, you're doing something right. Anytime you're in the same place as George Dixon, that's a good time. But and it was senior night, but you guys don't have many seniors, do you?
Yeah, we only have 3. One of them broke their wrist at that Raptor Rumble. The other one was like he's been fighting some bug for a while, so he didn't wrestle tonight. He was going to wrestle 75. We actually bumped up Kevin Summers to 75 for tonight. We're probably going to do that this weekend too because we got 2 75s with concussions. They're about to start protocol, hopefully. Then Calkins was third string, but he was sick, so we bumped up Kevin. Of course, Kevin, he's a beast. He's like 20. He's 26-2 right now. So, and he's beating the full out of these 75s now. So,
and one of those was the finals at Lowco, right?
Yeah, no. Him and Chavez won. May River. He lost to that kid from Georgia, and then that one kid from White Knoll. That kid was an animal.
That kid was a hammer.
He came out of nowhere. That
kid was a hammer.
He must have moved down from Pennsylvania or something. He must have been a transfer. I was like, this kid is a beast. He was working.
Well, he's getting better somewhere other than their room because they didn't really have anybody else. So he's getting better somewhere. That dude was that dude was impressive. But no, that's you guys are having a heck of a season, and I love that Whale Branch is continuing to step it up too. That's great to see. I saw Coach White brought his son over to Reverence for the clinic the other day, so that was cool.
It was actually Savannah Christian and Carlton Brett went on over those little dynamic duos.
Yeah.
Who is it? They're 150 at Carlton Prep. He's a freaking hammer, man.
Carter Sims.
Yeah, he won the state championship in Skeeza, didn't he? At his weight class.
Something like that. He's tough.
I'm not sure if
he placed at Lowco. He placed at the Lowco championships. He was at 157, but he may be down to 150 now. Carlton Prep. Carter Sims. He was third at Lowco, behind Legree and Rinaldi from May River.
Well, either way, that kid's a beast.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that kid's tough. He's really tough. They got a couple of good kids at Carlton Prep. Hayward was supposed to be there, but I guess
we'll see. We were trying to we had only booked one ref, and we were only planning on doing one match. I was trying to get them in because Carlton Prep was their coach was stuck in Kentucky. His flight got delayed, but then they had some parents show up, and then Bullman from Savannah Christian was helping them coach them, but they did end up having another coach show up. But
you gotta love wrestling. Anybody will coach anybody's kids.
I was on the phone with Ryan from Thomas Hayward. It's man, I'm working on it. They haven't got back yet. Yeah,
we coached one from Ladies Island the other day, me and Gearhart, because they had 2 going at the same time, and he's by himself. So he's hey, you guys. Can you get my guy on this mat next? And we're yeah, what's his name? Caleb. All right, let's go, Caleb.
Hey, a question for you. Are y'all going to I know Robert Smalls is having a duels for middle school. Are y'all going to that Monday or?
Oh yeah.
thought-
Not Monday. Thursday is our region
Okay.
duels. I don't know. We're not going Monday. We're trying to wrestle Hilton Head on Tuesday.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
I digress. The middle
It's
school
nice for
wrestling
us, man.
scheduling.
We could pretty much just walk there because it's like right across the street from our school.
They're tough, man. They're tough. Their middle school is tough. I like their kids.
Yep.
I like their coach a lot. But what'd you think? I saw you kind of nodding your head in the green room when we were talking about the appeals, and obviously people at Bridges are happy to stick at 2A. But did you get the same impression that I did, that it was a pretty solid? I thought they handled the process really well.
I think our administration did really great with that. When they were talking to them about like geographics and stuff, they're just like, yeah, we don't care about that in terms of travel and stuff. I was just like, I mean, it doesn't affect wrestling for the 1A, 2A classification because normally they just put them together. But this year, I've been on the phone with the Bamberg coach, Dixie, and like High Point Academy, trying to get them like, hey, we got, what is it, 12 teams that we need? I was like, we can do this year. Let's get the 1A duels because we wouldn't have enough people to do like the individual tournament. But this is like our last shot to do a 1A duels. So we're gonna try to make it happen this year. But it don't affect us. I mean, I don't care. Just bring them on, you know. We'll take on anybody, you know. I don't care.
Right.
Bring them here, and we'll take them on. So, yeah, that's the attitude you want to have. But you know, I think it's going to be beneficial to move up to 2A. Just your overall thoughts on, you know, moving up to this new classification in high school league.
As like from a broad spectrum for all sports, I think it's going to take a little bit of adjustment. But I will say this: we are getting a weight room in April, and my boys are going to be in there almost like 4 or 5 days a week, and they're going to be in there with me, and we're going to be pumping iron. I mean, it's a little disheartening when we go over to Hilton Head to do duels with them, and they're all in the gym just pumping iron right before our match. I was like, man, that stinks. I wish we could be pumping some iron before we went in there, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a big asset. I didn't realize you guys didn't have a weight room. It's tough. It makes a big difference, especially if football's on the horizon. You're gonna have to
It'll be
get in the weight room. So
some football, but
yeah, I know. But Macy wants it. I know he does.
Yeah, I think the plan is to start off with middle school football. Do they do? Is it called 7-on-7? Do they have 7-on-7 football in South Carolina? I know a lot of schools that before they.
I mean, like
Skiza.
No, Skiza has 8-man for.
Is it 8-man? Okay.
Yeah, but it's the tiny Skiza schools out in the boonies, named after like old generals and stuff.
Yeah. Every time I'm leaving work or coming into work in the morning, I'm always looking over that gym like, all right, they put up some brick on that side of the wall. All right, we're getting closer, counting down the days. It's supposed to be like mid-April. It's supposed to have like the weight room and everything we can get in the facility. I'm definitely going to utilize that in the morning before work, get my workout in.
There you go. Make the kids show up too. How about while we're on the subject of wrestling, May River with an 84 zip tonight on Colleton, which is never fun for anybody. But more importantly, May River beat James Island and Lucy Beckham the other night.
I saw that. Is Lucy Beckham having like a down year, or just May River a powerhouse?
Well, May River's they always win it, but James Island was the threat. But Lucy Beckham. Bluffton and Hilton Head both beat them the other night. So Bluffton and Hilton Head both clinched playoff spots, which is
Lucy Beckham, is that a 4A or 3A school like right
4A.
Now? 4A, okay.
4A. It'll be 5A next class.
I was surprised about that. And then I think it was Goose Creek's like been on a roll too. I think they just stopped somebody that was pretty good. I thought was pretty good. I can't remember what the team was though. I know the coach from Cross went over there, and wherever he goes, man, they get real good. So
yeah,
his name is Nearhood, but I saw a couple of those scores the other day.
Yeah, looking good over there. Then Battery Creek came back last night and got revenge on JP2.
They got their revenge because I saw that JP2 posted that they beat Battery Creek. I was like,
yeah, they got them in the Bobcat duels.
I was
But
like, let's take on Creek because we take GP too close. And I watched that on YouTube last night. I was planning on going to it, man, but I was just dead tired. So I just watched it on YouTube on my TV.
Same. Exact same. I was like, Javon's there. He's streaming it. I'll watch this. But Creek came out for blood last night. They wanted revenge on that one bad. But I'm looking forward to those Region 8 3A duels next week at Creek. That should be fun. All those teams are pretty evenly matched, so that'll be solid.
What day is that?
Wednesday night, I believe.
Wednesday night.
If I'm not mistaken.
Very nice. Oh, mark your calendars for that.
Like 6 p.m.
All in one battle royale.
Sure. I'm sure Rutherford will let me know, but I don't know what time they start. But that'll be fun. I like how they put them all in one place and let them go at it. One night, but that'll be cool. Well, hey man, we appreciate you hopping on and congrats on the continued success. What do you guys got up next?
We're going to Bamberg this weekend for the Red Raiders duels. I think we're guaranteed 4 duel matches. We should place. We should have a good shot of placing. Even all banged up and throwing some JV guys at the varsity spot, I think we'll still be good as long as everybody shows up to the school on time in the morning. Because there's like a homecoming dance on Friday night.
Oh, no.
I was like, if you go there, don't be eating none of the snacks or Cheetos that are on the table. You dance your butt off so you can make weight on Saturday. That's right. But then we got our region championship match on Thursday at Bamberg. We got a little revenge match going on from last year when we end up losing to the tiebreaker to them. But we got a full squad. We should have a full squad when we go up against them. Last year we had like 7 guys, I think, going in there. So we're out.
You
for
faced
some
them earlier in the season. Was that a non-region match?
No, that's a region match. So the
the
way we kind of do it, it's like we don't go by like region wins. We just have that one night and we
Oh, okay.
That's a championship. I think Whale Branch is going to give Bamberg a run for their money, honestly. I think we beat Bamberg better than we beat Whale Branch. So we'll see how that goes.
Where is that? Where's your region duels?
At Bamberg Earhart.
It's at Bamberg? All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, you'll have to let us know how that goes. Sounds good.
I'll keep you updated.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you. Have a great night.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm going to get some rest. Good night.
All right. Take care, man. Alex Hagan, head coach, Bridges Prep Wrestling, doing a terrific job over there. I've really enjoyed spending time with him and his assistant coaches in the gyms on the weekends. They got some good dudes. Cooper Kaminsky is a Battery Creek alum who went and wrestled in college and is helping out there. And then Dan, whose last name escapes me at the moment, is hilarious and a great guy. So we've really enjoyed hanging out with them on Saturdays. But shifting gears a little bit, and we'll talk some hoops after we talk some hoops now because we kind of skipped ahead. I wanted to get Hagan in and out of here. But USCB man got back on track last night, took down Georgia College, put up 97. So they're at 2-3 in the conference after losing 3 in a row, and that was encouraging. Women played tough. They were right in it, lost by 9. Still kind of fighting uphill for them. But Jada Young had a nice game.
They've been on the doorstep. Yep. They've been on the doorstep of some key wins, just unable to close it out. So I expect those to come soon for that women's team. And fighting off several injuries early on this year, still trying to really find their groove. But great to see them competing in a bunch of these tough conference games to start the year. So, but that the guys team that's taking care of business. That's when you wanted to have against Georgia College, but. Man, the big man Marcus Overstreet, double, terrific night. But then you look at some of these guys and how Fudala likes to do the line changes. You got 3 guys that didn't start the game, all finishing in double figures, and Karan Anderson, Kenny Gaines, and Tasso Stanos. So you look at the depth of this team, and they're getting it done when on a night where Kayvon Price was still very strong.
Yeah,
he's go 16, but a night where Larry Bullock maybe didn't have his best game, or Shay Champagne. So a lot of guys they can turn to in order to pick up the offense. So that's what you like about this USCB team, and that's a huge bounce back road win, and really one you want to have, because obviously you play them again, but it gives you a leg up. You only got to get ahead of 2 teams in order to get into the tournament. So that's a key win in order to stay on that track.
Yeah, no, it was a nice win, and they I watched the game last night, solid stream from Georgia College. They withstood some runs. They got up early like they usually do. They did run the line changes pretty heavily last night, because the announcers were like, "Man, they're bringing in 5 freshmen." And they were commenting on, how nobody had played that many minutes, which we're accustomed to seeing, but it was new to them. And they would it's just the nature of the beast. They're going to let teams go on runs because they play so fast. And when they get a little out of sync, they'll give up some easy buckets and give up 6 or 8 in a stretch. But they always were able to just keep going. And, that's what Fudala always talks about. Just keep playing it. Just keep going, because eventually it starts to the chaos starts to unravel people. And a couple of teams have been able to withstand it, but it's tough. It's a grind, and if you let up for even a second, they can put up 10 or 12 in a minute, just bang. And it's so fun to watch. I enjoy it immensely. I'm looking forward to the next one. Saturday is going to be tough, though. They go to North Georgia, and the North Georgia men are top 10 in the country. So that'll be a real test. But I do think that they relish those opportunities. So, I think they'll be ready for the game. Should be fun, though. What other basketball results stood out to you over the last couple of days? Hampton County opened last night with region play finally after many weather fiascos. They beat Edisto badly, boys and girls. Anything else? Not much has happened since we last talked to the people. Anything else?
Yeah.
Jump out at you?
We did the hoops report the other night.
Yeah.
We talked about that Colleton County boys team that looked pretty solid, and the win over May River. Now I believe they face Bluffton, and if they can get that one, it'll be absolutely massive for just the confidence and the chances of this team to do something as this year goes on, because you talk about the veteran guys like a Mike Gant, who's been around the program for a while, and he's been one of the driving forces for a number of years, and now he's really starting to. It's been like a lot of different pieces that have helped contribute for this team. But he's been one of those really helpful forces on really every aspect of the Cougars game. He can score at will when he gets hot. He can dish it. He can find some open passes. He's just a really good cerebral player. He's been there and knows the system for a while, and that's a guy who you need to really help lead the guys beside him. And they've got a couple of good supporting players who are really finding it now. And we talked about how they started to build what they did during the holidays. Got a couple of wins heading out of the break. And you got guys like Devon Varner, Nick Williams stepping up. We mentioned about the grit and just, how they've got the physical guys that can really, help them take their game to that next level. So Colleton's going to be a team to look out for in the future. But Patrick Henry, man, that team, absolute warriors, and they've got some high octane players. All starts with those Ferry brothers, Forrest and Hugh. And those guys can absolutely ball no matter the venue. And that's always a fun group to watch. But give a shout out to Tristan Peoples and Roland Croft. They put 4 guys, I believe, in double figures in that 78-44 win over Holy Trinity. So lots of like over there at Patrick Henry and Hilton Head Prep, doing what they do best. They do a good job when they get a lead of just finding a way to close it out and just use that methodical offense to get easy looks. And when they have an advantage, it is tough to come back. You got to be able to really execute well. And the hard part is getting stops. And when Jason Britchey's on his game. That can be very, very tough to do. And then looking on the girls' side for recent results, May River getting it done over Colleton. Bluffton, I think, is the real deal.
Yep.
Decoy Hayward, 20 points. I mean, maybe an off night, quote unquote, for her, but
Yeah.
Jelena
Oh, yeah.
Mosley.
Did you see what she ended up with? It was like 22 points. It was wrong in the book, apparently, but 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists or something crazy. She had a monster game,
Yeah,
even though I kept saying she
great.
was a little off at the offensive end. And she was shooting wise, but she finds a way to contribute in a big way. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. And then
That's
the
what you look
JP2
for.
girls team. Yep.
JP2
JP2
girls were
girls team.
solid.
Yep. Yeah, they've been tearing it up. Northwood on Monday, I believe. That should be interesting. Northwood's a quality squad. Girls
And-
basketball, so that could be
And
pretty
HHCA a
fantastic.
week from tomorrow,
Yeah.
yeah. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be
And
fun.
hopefully, if you're the students there, let's get there early and pack the girls' game. The guys, I mean, obviously they get the good attendance the guys' game, but let's get there before the girls' game because that's a big one. So hopefully,
That's right.
those kids will stay for both of them because
Turn out.
that's going to be a
I
really
think
fun, really fun.
I
girls'
think
game.
more schools should occasionally flip the boys and girls and play the girls second,
I like that.
especially when it's higher
right when it's
profile
the marquee
matchup.
game. It's the title card.
Yeah.
You get the
Yeah. I don't like
Look,
this starting
look,
at
look,
6 or 5:30 or whatever. Like that's kind of half, half full at best, but usually less than that to start the game. I mean, even at Bluffton, like they're rolling, and it's like a ghost town in there for the first half of the girls' game. But anyway, let's shout out the Lowco Booster Club, and then we'll name some athletes and teams of the week and look ahead to the weekend. Lowco Booster Club, we've got the Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court, Lowcountry natives selling the Lowco lifestyle on Hilton Head Island. Let them bring you home. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. My guy Chris Odom will get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. Unless you have dirt floors, you can't get those clean. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness now open in Belfair Town Village. Go get juiced up with my guy Max, and you'll be feeling better, relaxed, and refreshed. Rooted Living Wellness. Dr. Ambrose Cole is my favorite chiropractor, but they got a whole bunch of great people over at Rooted Living Wellness where they can get your body feeling right. And Dr. Ambrose always gets me feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Look forward to seeing him tomorrow morning. Eagle Creations is a great spot to get some custom apparel, some gift baskets, even some promotional items. If you need business cards, anything like that, they can take care of it. Eagle Creations. Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Great conversation over there with my guy Jay Alfonso. And our newest sponsor, Revive Rehab Pelvic Floor Physical Therapy. So that's for the moms. If you need, if you're having any problems in the nether regions, go see my friends Dr. Jen and Dr. Ali at Revive Rehab, and they've seen and heard it all. They'll help you get feeling right, and everything will be good. So thanks to all of our sponsors, all of our Lowco Booster Club sponsors. Wes, who you got for? We didn't do a Monday show, so I feel like we owe the people both a team of the week and an athlete of the week.
Let's do our team and player. For my team, I'm going to go with the Kings of the Region 7-4A and the wrestling mat, May River, the Sharks, getting it done once again. You mentioned the big win of James Island, but then now taking care of business against Colleton County, that's what you expect. But that's another quality team, and they just reload year after year. Ashley Powell, he knows what he's doing, and those guys have really come to play and to wrestle every night out there on the mat. Josh Echevarria, one of those guys who I love watching, and he finds his name out there as one of the top guys out on the tournament sheet or on the results results page that I see here when I come to prepare for this podcast. But it's been great to see a team with that consistent level of success. Because sometimes, it's hard to do that when you get so much turnover. But man, they're doing it really right over there. Morrow, Rudisill with some pins in that win over James Island. They came back to win that matchup, and then
they were down 31-21 in that match and won at 45-31. They got a couple of forfeits
Yep.
in there, but they got
So
a couple
to
huge
beat both
fans.
Lucy Beckham and James Island, and now they come back with, I guess, is that a perfect game in wrestling? What they
Yeah,
did,
perfect game.
Yep.
Yep,
Can't do any
14
better.
times 6.
Yep.
That's as good as it gets.
Yep.
That feels good.
And then
No, they're
player,
strong. It's
but
funny too how Powell, said, "Oh man, I just don't know if we're going to be very good this year." Here they are, but he's got a great coaching staff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, your player.
my player, I'm going to go back to JP2, go with Brady Mahoney. Absolutely unbelievable week. 21 points, 21 boards, plus
And
3
4
blocks.
blocks.
And,
Or 3, was it 3 blocks? Yeah.
Yeah. To power the Golden Warriors 67-41 over Hilton Head Prep. JP2 squad, and then they keep it rolling against Thomas Hayward. Another strong game from Mahoney, 15 points, 12 boards. So she is driving the train, but it's been a lot of contributors. Casey Gray's been excellent. Lily Termini, Gracie Henderson been knocking it down from threes. That's been a really fun team that has really the pieces that fit in almost perfectly. And Mahoney has been at the forefront, and she has just been a young lady possessed. The way she's able to grab those boards and just will her way to scoring and close. So she is going to be the factor. All of a sudden is closing in on the powerhouse and sustained dynasty that is Hilton Head Christian Academy. It's going to make it a little interesting. I don't know if they're being able to knock them off, but you can't now alongside the rest of that team. So Karen Floyd's group playing extremely well as we head into the meet and the busy part of this year as we approach postseason.
Yeah, and they played a tougher early season schedule this year than they have in the past too, and I think they're seeing the benefit of that now.
Yep.
They were challenged pretty good early, so no, I'm excited to see how it pans out for them. Teams of the week, I got 2 I want to shout out. We talked about them a good bit, but that Colleton County boys basketball team, nice 9-point win at home against May River the other night. You mentioned they have Bluffton at home on Friday. I saw them early in the year and just felt like, man, they've got the right parts, like if they can kind of get it all going in the right direction, they could be pretty dangerous. And I think they're playing at a pretty high level right now. So I'm excited to see what they can do going forward. Again, we mentioned it the other night on the Hoops Report, but, Gant had 23, Varner had 10, Williams had 10. And that's with Brian Hamilton not really doing a lot on offense, which,
Right.
You can give him a lot of attention and decide somebody else is going to beat you, but there's other guys who can beat you. And that's what I like about that team is they got a lot of different
Really
ways
balanced, really deep roster.
Yeah, and
out
really
there,
versatile.
especially
They've got
they
some
can do a lot
length,
of
but they've
things.
got
They
some
can
shifty
beat you in different
guards.
ways.
Yeah, a lot of different ways. I like it.
Yeah,
They seem to be gelling well.
yeah.
And then
I mean,
I'm going to shout out a wrestling squad as well. I'm giving the Bluffton Bobcats some
Nice.
love because Coach Nutter is doing a heck of a job over there. That program, really was decimated by the school split. May River really, they had a powerhouse program from the jump pretty much, and Bluffton really floundered for a little bit. But they have got it on really good footing. I've had the pleasure. We've taken our guys over to weigh in a couple of times over at Bluffton when they were practicing, and so I've gotten to see what's going on in their room and be around that program a little bit more. And I'm super impressed. They beat Colleton 65-18 the other night, but more importantly, they beat Lucy Beckham 42-38, which, that I think going into the season, you would have thought it was May River, and then the challengers to them were kind of James Island and Lucy Beckham, but Bluffton has shown that they are, among the top tier. So they still got to take on the Sharks next week. And I don't think the matchup is super for them, but it will be fairly competitive, and it will depend, who gets the flip will matter because they've got a lot of depth and a lot of different things they can do in their lineup in a dual match. So I love that Bluffton team. And I think that our region is going to make some noise in those playoffs.
Yeah.
I think, either
We could
Bluffton or
see
James
a
Island is going to be the
potential
3
rematch in like later down the line, potentially lower state, which would be really fun if we see like a Bluffton, May River, James Allen, Lucy Beckham, May River, something like that, because it's possible with the way this is shaking out.
Yeah, well, Beckham's not going to get in the playoffs now because Hilton Head beat him. So it's going to be May River and then either James Island or Bluffton, and then Hilton Head are going to be the 4.
Yeah.
So that's a little
All
surprising.
4 of those teams,
Beckham,
those are really solid wrestling squads.
And Hilton Head impresses me too. The fact that they've gotten where they are this
Newton's
year.
Back too.
Yeah. It looked early on like they were maybe not going to be as strong in the region, but they came out with a nice win over Beckham the other night, 37-31. So that's really good too. They had a Donnybrook with Bluffton a couple weeks ago. So it looks like they'll be locked into the 4. But I think our region will be solid in the 4A dual playoffs. And then I think Battery Creek has a chance to make some noise in 3A as well. And Bridges apparently they might have a 1A. That would be great. But all right, Wes. One other. I had one athletes of the week, right?
Athletes, yeah.
So I have an athlete of the week. This is off course,
off the board.
But Gavin Kerrick from Bluffton has leaned into the long snapping. And he went to the Coles Showcase down in Florida, 2-day camp. And he was the long snap winner, the champion of the long snap competition. I don't know exactly what that entails. I think it's snap time and you got to hit a target or whatever. But I do know that I've seen his dad posting video after video after video of him in the backyard hitting targets with long snaps.
Yeah,
so, it's one of those specialized skills that if
there's
you
a path.
Can
there's
get
a path.
really, really good at it. There's value.
There's
there.
an opportunity.
And,
I mean, that could be everything.
And it ain't nothing but work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nothing but practicing.
Repetition.
Yep.
And
if I'm not mistaken, I think they've got a kicker in the family as well. So, you got a snapper and a kicker. So I think Pops David is he must be the all-time holder, right?
Yeah.
Have an all-time holder.
Yep, the whole special teams unit. Snap, holding the kick. Very nice.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. It's a little offbeat, but there's a ton of kids that go to these things and compete in these specialized competitions, and to win the whole thing is pretty cool. And then another athlete of the week that I was going to shout out. Let's see here. I got to give love to your guy, Jason Britschke. I mean, gosh. He had a monster game the other night against JP2 with 24 points, and I want to say like 11 boards and 4 blocks or something. Just monstrous game.
Yeah, he was an absolute menace on defense. And
now in retrospect, having watched tonight what they were able to do to O'Banner and just not give him anything, I'm like, holy cow, Britschke. He was a monster inside against a team that defends the post pretty well, and only 49 points scored by the winning team. So 24 is a large chunk.
Yeah.
So I've seen him play a couple times this year and been really impressed with the physicality. I mean, he's just he is chiseled, man. That dude is solid. But his presence, his IQ on the floor, and we've talked a lot about his passing out of the high post. He's really nice.
Yeah.
And just he seems to be just a unselfish team first guy.
Great kid.
Which is seems to be outstanding.
We'll have to get him on sometime and talk to him about what he feels this season has unfolded like, and what he's doing to get himself to this level. So that dude,
and what he learned from Sean
Cusano.
I'm sure he learned a good bit watching him play.
That was what a beneficial opportunity for him to learn under Cusano, because he took over this. I mean, there were some unknowns, like you're losing such a key guy who can not only excel in the post, play tenacious defense, and hit a 3 from time to time, and now you switch in Britschke, who maybe doesn't have the completely versatile game and just the high talent level of Cusano, but still, I mean, absolutely working as hard as he is, if not sometimes better just by the way he continually just aggravates you. I mean, it's basically like having another Sean Cusano in some aspects, and the way he defends in the interior and in the paint, which Cusano always did so well, and just the matchup problems that he presents. So, it's worked out really well for this team, and Coach Barron has, a game changing player, because you don't see that often at the skis level. Someone who can compete like that and continually win down low, close to the hoop, and it's just so tough to stop. And when you have an offense that's so freewheeling and moving so seamlessly, when you have that great post player and that big man, it opens up so much. You got the outs. That's what was helpful for that Davidson team that made the tournament a couple years ago, when they had a big who was I think he was conference player of the year. Oh man, it helped. I mean, extremely well just to find those open shooters. When you run that motion offense like that, it's everything. So I mean, what a boon and treat for Hilton Head Prep to have that guy in your lineup who's going to just do so many different things for you so well, and open up just so many other opportunities for you offensively. And then you got to have guys who can knock down shots, and they've gotten some excellent 3-point shooting this year from guys who didn't expect to do that.
Yeah, no, their 3-point shooting is tremendous.
Yeah.
Those two guys, Barron and Moore, just don't hardly miss when they're open. And then Ben Frey's terrific too. But no, I think we'll get a chance to talk to some of those guys, because I think they're going to make another run in the playoffs, and we're going to need to get them in here. But well, I think that's enough for tonight, Wes.
Let's quickly preview what's on tap for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So let's take a look ahead at what we're getting into this weekend. I'll be traveling to coach a couple of guys in the middle school state wrestling tournament. But there's a lot of interesting stuff going on tomorrow night. Where are you heading tomorrow?
I think I'm headed to the Cage to see Hilton Head Christian Academy take on Hampton County, a little crossover, if you will. Hampton County team considered one of the best here in the Loco. I had them either 1 or 2. We're gonna have another power rankings early next week, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, we got to get those out,
because those Hilton Head Christian Academy, they're gonna try to prove themselves on Friday night against a very, very strong Hurricanes team. So excited to see how that one goes down. HHGA, I think, is they were on the downswing. I think there were a lot of questions after the loss against Prep. They weren't too bad against Sumter in the NLK Showcase game. They lost by like 4 points, and they were hanging in there. So maybe a chance to build on that against Hampton County, team that's been rolling so far in their region. And when you have the first few weeks of the season, when they're coming off football, coming off that lower state championship appearance, then you got guys coming in and out like Xavier Garvin and others, and Kayvon Chisholm. Now, hopefully, once you have all the pieces in place, you've had time to practice and get into basketball shape. This is going to be a tough team to beat. So, Hilton Head Christian Academy going to have to work out for. They're going to have to, Elijah White's going to have to find ways to really contribute offensively, and everybody's got to be in sync. We saw a lot of, times in that Hilton Head Prep game, they just didn't seem to be in sync and on point, and the offense just wasn't coming the way they needed it to be. So we'll see if they can fix that against Hampton County. I still think, being at home, I think is huge, in front of that crowd, because we talked about last couple nights ago, Hilton Head Christian Academy is a great home court advantage. When those students over there in the Cage, they can get rowdy, and it can make it for a really tough game for its other team coming in there. So I expect Hilton Head Christian Academy to put in a better performance and challenge Hampton County, but I do think the Hurricanes come out on top. And then the girls' game, no guarantee that HHGA team, they've been tested a lot. I'll tell you, they played some tough competition, but Hampton County girls, that's a pretty underrated squad that's done some good things over these last few outings. So I still think
I think HHCA
Intriguing.
will be all right.
Yeah.
We got Hilton Head at May River. I know that one's on WHHI. So
All right.
our friend,
Be able to get some highlights from them.
Marcus Walsh is going to stop by tomorrow night on the Hoops Report and talk
Very
about
nice.
those games with us. Maybe the Libs as well. Who knows? And we got Bluffton at Colleton. I know USC Salk is also at home. I was toying with the idea of making that Colleton County junket that we promised Coach Lynch. And you got Beaufort Academy at Thomas Hayward, Beaufort at Hanahan. You mentioned Hampton County at Hilton at Christian, Ridgeland, Hardyville at Edisto, Allendale, Bridges Prep, Royal Live Oaks at Whale Branch, and Patrick Henry at Colleton Prep, plus Cross Boys go to Bethesda. So, yeah, busy slate Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday, Lucy Beckham, May River makeup at the deep end. And you got Northwood Academy at Hilton at Prep as well. So
I think that Lucy Beckham, May River, both those games could be pretty fun. That's
I do too.
Yeah, I think those are winnable for both those May River teams. I think it's a really good Lucy Beckham girls squad over the years. But May River, I think they've really revitalized with the way they've been starting off in this new season. And, I'm excited. I haven't been able to see them yet. So that's a team that could give, if it's for this Lucy Beckham squad, and I think it should be a good scrap. Should be a close game. But then the boys, a tough one against Colleton. But we've seen what this May River team has locked up in them, and that's a squad that can make it dangerous when they're on their game. Another team I've yet to see this year. So looking forward to see what the Sharks have for the first time this season in what I think is a winnable region game. Although Lucy Beckham, that's a really solid team and a really well coached team. I've just seen over the years. Every time they come in here, they execute the offense really well. They get some good shots off, good shot selection, and they play good team basketball. So May River is going to really have to be ready and disciplined going into what should be another fun region clash over there. So, but it's possible that the Sharks can pull this off. We've seen some good play from them early in the year.
Yeah, I think I think those are good kind of measuring stick games.
Yep.
You'd like to win those at home, but at least they need to be competitive.
Yeah.
This will be the best team the girls, May River girls, have played, I think.
Yep.
And it will be one of the better teams the May River boys have played. So, I think we'll find out a little bit more about both of them on Saturday. Well, Friday and Saturday, because back to back with Hilton Head and Lucy Beckham. That's rare. Back to back region games.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, because of the weather, you have to squish them together. But there's two huge ones over there for the Sharks back to back. So, you got to be. Hopefully, they're gonna find ways to keep that stamina where you want it to be.
They're gonna jump right in the deep end.
Jumping, no pun intended.
All right. Well, I'm getting punchy, so it must be time to go. But thanks so much to Coach Alex Hagan from Bridges Prep for hopping on with this. Thanks to all of our sponsors, and thanks to y'all who show up to listen or watch me and Wes do our thing, talking Loco Sports. We appreciate it. You can also find all the shows in podcast form. Again, we're uploading those to the Podbean platform, so you can check out the Podbean app or Podbean, LowcoSports.podbean.com, I believe. You can find all our Loco Sports shows, and we'll be putting all of our other shows up there as well because we got more and more coming out. So great show tonight, Wes. Always enjoyed talking sports with you, and look forward to doing it tomorrow night on the Loco Hoops Report. We got all kinds of basketball to talk about, and then we'll round it all up. So that's going to do it for this one. Oh, my cat is losing his mind over here. But until next time, I'm Justin Jarrett for Wes Kerr. Go Loco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.